welcome to my lockdown videos, day 55. Can't believe it's been this long. Seems like it's never going to end. I really hope and pray that these videos encourage you today, speaks to you. You will be criticised if you follow Jesus. That is 100% true no matter where you live on this planet. There will be people who misunderstand you and try and correct you, who tell you that you're being too serious, that you're too fanatical, that you're taking the Bible too literal, that you've gone a bit extreme in your faith, you've gone a bit too far, that God doesn't speak today, that God doesn't want to challenge you and change you. Expect it. If you're not a Christian, when you become a Christian, expect the fact that people will criticize you and try and stop you from following God. If you are a Christian, expect it. Don't resent it. Don't try and stop it. We read in the book of Acts chapter 11, Peter, as we talked about yesterday, he'd just gone to this guy who was a Roman soldier. He'd shared Jesus with him. Everyone in the house became Christians. The Holy Spirit came, an incredible encounter. And yet, when he goes back to the base, the HQ of the early church, did they all instantly celebrate? Did they all think, I wonder what Peter's been up to on this little mission trip he's been over there, what's happened? The instant reaction was to criticise because they didn't understand what he'd done, because he'd done something different to what they'd done before. Verse 2. When Peter arrived back in Jerusalem, all of those Jewish Christians criticised him. They all had a go at him. What on earth do you think you're doing? Going over there to a Roman? We don't talk to people like that about Jesus. What are you doing? You're completely missing the point. Had they forgotten that Jesus said, go into all the world? He didn't just say go into this little bit of the world, he said go into all the world. Share the good news to everyone. It's quite simple. But they could not get their heads round God doing something different from what they've done in the past. Especially in this moment of crisis, of chaos, God is doing a new thing. He promises, see, I'm doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? Let's be people who perceive, who see what God is doing, who join in with what God is doing. But I guarantee you, there will be people who criticize you. Over the last 10 years of doing Make Jesus Known, and probably 10 years before that of doing Christian outreach projects, constantly people will criticize. But actually, when it's someone who's not a Christian who criticises you, you expect it. There will be Christians, believers who criticise you. That's when it hurts the most. To use a football analogy, it's the tackle from behind that you're not expecting, 2-footed, that takes you out. There will be other Christians who will say, what are you doing that for? Don't do that, that's too far. Because the way you're living is challenging their lifestyle. These early Christians were challenged that Peter had stepped out, he'd done something different in obedience to God, and it opened up a whole new people to hear the good news about Jesus. Let's not chase after persecution, let's not chase after people criticising, but let's expect it. Let's just accept it, brush it off and move on. That's why it's so important we make sure we are listening to God's voice, seeing what He is doing, following His leading, not just following the crowd. Even if that crowd are Christians, let's follow Jesus and seek Him and Him alone. I'm praying for you that God will give you the strength to keep going, to keep being bold for Him, to not hold back as a follower of Jesus. And if you're not a Christian, you would make that decision today to grab hold of it with two hands, because He's so worth it. Even with all the criticism and rejection, there's nothing I'd rather be than a follower of Jesus. Please like, comment, share this message, and I will see you back tomorrow. God bless.